What's up, people of the world? Reap the Harvest live in the mix. Matt Tack and Pat Hilton. How are you, brother?
Dude, I'm doing amazing. I am
I
doing
love it.
friggin' amazing.
I love it. It's a
I
special Wednesday edition today, folks. He was doing some due diligence on a property on Monday, so we weren't able to stream live.
uh
But we did do some micro content on his Instagram page. If you guys follow him over there at official Matt Tack, you'll see all the clips, and all these episodes are also re-uploaded over there. So everything that we do here is also uploaded on Instagram. And I feel like Instagram's less of a mess. If I go to somebody's page, the grid layout makes it way easier for me to click on their content because the news feed feature is different when you go to somebody's grid. It's all like gridded out. So it's really organized. It's really easy for you guys to follow him over there, and we'll rewatch everything or get all the clips. But Wednesday edition, it is Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day. And we're just judo chopping those goals today.
Judo chopping those goals. Yeah, sorry about the internet connection, guys. We're going through a hurricane. I don't know if it's a hurricane, but it's Tropical Storm Ida or something that's coming through here. So
yeah, I saw my friend Alice lives down there in St. Petersburg, right by you. And she posted something. There were guys with trash bags on moving the lounge chairs out of some resort area. So I guess there's a storm coming through ready to whip up the lounge chairs.
The storm's brewing. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how bad it is. I think it's a tropical storm still. I think it already hit the Keys. It wasn't too bad, but I think it hit it at a Cat 1. Somebody told me it hit Cat 1. Maybe I'm off on that.
That's not what we want. That's not what we want.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, sorry about the connection. I just switched up to a different one to back up.
Oh, so. You're good, dude. You're good. So what's on the agenda moving through the rest of the week? You've been a busy man. You've been traveling all over. You've been doing all these deals, the strip malls, the commercial properties, and doing due diligence on Monday. What's next on the chopping block?
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, we're submitting an LOI and a couple things right now that are kind of in the pipeline for a warehousing deal and working on a few other things. But it's right now it's been a busy morning with one of the commercial assets we have. We do, obviously due to COVID, the restrictions specifically in Michigan are just insane. And so we're seeing businesses close down. So I just got noticed that 2 businesses are just completely closing down. They're shutting their doors. So, dude, COVID single-handedly destroying an entire infrastructure or ecosystem and kind of our in the retail settings. So, and we're like, it's a fairly small retail setting where we're in. I don't think we'll bounce back relatively strong, I think. So we got a good business plan for it, but it's I don't necessarily agree with a lot of things that are going on in regards to how things are. I struggle, right? My kind of like my mindset is, we do have to be cognizant of how we're handling it, but at the end of the day, it's like I'm seeing it firsthand. We're talking about like a very, very small group of people that it's truly affecting at the end of the day. And I'm not saying that their life isn't valuable, but I'm also saying there's derivatives of everything.
That's the problem with this, is that when you bring up anything contrary to the narrative, you're attacked these days. And that's a problem in 2020. It's got to go away. People are the whole point of America is to challenge things, to push, to move in different directions, and to compromise, and to bring different viewpoints to the table and talk about the facts, talk about the data. The data suggests what you're getting at. And that's that. I mean, at what point do we start living our lives again here?
Yeah, it's just it's unfortunate because we're talking about things at Nail Studio, for instance, like pretty much a vacuum store. I'm just talking about 2 in particular, but just completely decided it's worth shutting our doors and not operating anymore. Then we had another one go down that was a gym, right? I talked to my buddy the other day, same thing. It was extended out a little too long where, the government isn't even catching up with the monies that are open right now. So, a lot of the money got into the wrong hands because, it's fact at this point. The money, the any type of money that was dispersed out of the federal government, it was based out of fear, right? Fear that like you're going to have a mass shutdown of businesses. Money got into the wrong hands, right? People took advantage of the system. And now you have just a lot of money where, there was a significant transfer of wealth, right? It got into the guys that really technically didn't need it.
Right.
And you're at a point where then they're utilizing to create more wealth. It got into the hands of probably like pretty intelligent guys, right? That are creating more wealth out of that money. So a lot of guys took it that didn't necessarily need it. They got it. Some people got hundreds of millions of dollars. Some people got, I know there's a couple businesses that got, a couple $1,000,000 that don't necessarily need it, right? And they're still operating and they were sitting cash heavy anyway. So, I'm at a crux, right? Right now, there's a little bit of paradox as far as where, what's right morally, and then what's right, I guess, overall from kind of socially and politically. Right now, I think the government handled COVID correctly? I don't know. Like, do you take a month, 2 months? I'm just like at a really, it's between a rock and a hard place. I really had some like significant dialogue. I understand people's opinions on it. Do I want people, because there's the underlying symptoms of, I don't know if I have it, and I can pass it on to somebody that might be in that vulnerable population. I get that. I get the empathy factor. But then I also get the, for me, from being an entrepreneur and like an understanding business at a little bit more of a macro level from in economics, and seeing like businesses just shut down. They just can't hold it together anymore. That's the empathy where I could like, that business owners really aren't part of that vulnerable population. Now you're not getting your nails done because you're afraid that you might get COVID, like, and it, albeit an asymptomatic COVID, right? It's like, I don't know, man. I guess I go back and are we testing for asymptomatic flu right now too? I think we should, because
well,
I could.
And now again, they'll attack you. People will attack you for this too, but flu numbers have plummeted. Flu numbers have plummeted. So now, and again, we've been questioning the numbers since day one, and there's nothing wrong with questioning. It doesn't make us wackos, but it's just like, where did those numbers go? Are those inside the other numbers that are way up here? What is going on? There has been no clear data since day one.
Lack of clarity. 9 million Americans, from my understanding, don't quote me on those numbers, but I think that's an article that I read. 9 million Americans have asymptomatic COVID right now. So I know it's like a hot button and a hot topic right now. And I know that like other parts of the world, right, are looking at the United States like, dude, they're freaking crazy. They're just like walking around. They think we're extremely liberal on how we're operating. But, like, to me, it's one of those things where there's, I don't know, there's other derivatives, there's other things that happen because you make a choice, right? And I think we've seen that in this, where in the position we're in, right, is we made a choice, and now there's other things that are happening. Opioid use is insanely high, alcoholism gone through the roof,
depression,
mental illnesses gone through the roof. Like there's all these other things are like the compounding factors, the derivatives that ran from COVID. And it's like COVID now is this very small number. And now you have all these other things that are like crazy numbers. They're massive.
And I think that part of the reason why this is happening is that the media takes stuff and runs away with it. I did a comedy skit yesterday on the election. And, the media has declared that Joe Biden is the president-elect.
Yeah.
The votes are not counted yet, and the Electoral College doesn't vote until December. Now, again, he's up by like 5 million votes. So technically he's probably going to win the election, right? Let's just be very clear. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
but there are some recounts and there are some lawsuits, and some of this may go to the Supreme Court. Regardless of the ruling, he's up by like 5 states and like 5 million votes. So,
yeah.
But there is no such thing as the office of the president-elect. And the president-elect is only determined by the Electoral College in December. And the votes aren't even all counted yet. The media doesn't choose who the president is. The Electoral College and the Supreme Court is. I am one of the goofiest, average intelligent people, and it's almost like we're losing track of basic 5th grade social studies lessons here by allowing the media to say this person won. It's also a very dangerous narrative, because let's say the 0% chance in hell that this thing gets reversed in court. Well, now all these people have been dancing in the street and celebrating, thinking that their person won, rightfully so, because that's what they were told. And if that flips, we're going to see mass chaos, because again, the media is running away with this narrative that the guy won. Again, the chances are that's probably true, but it's not confirmed yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like you do real estate. There is no confirmation that the deal is done, even if the contract is signed. I mean, that's like the oldest thing in real estate. I will do marketing for enough real estate. I mean, I have a real estate shirt on right now. I know that the deal's not done. Even if the contract is signed, somebody can back out, correct?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can notice the cancellation contracts. We canceled the contract today. So yeah, the deal.
Just throwing that out there. So I think that what we're all getting at is that the media is running away with narratives instead of confirming things and making sure that it's right and that it's truth and that it's correct. And then if you question that, you get fact checked. I mean, dude, we're living in crazy times right now. But again, back to square one on what we talk about on this show is we still have to execute at a high level despite the distractions. We still have to execute at a high level despite the challenges. None of that. We can't allow it to affect us. We only get paid based on production.
That's right.
We don't have some magical check that's going to show up if we don't execute.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
so this is just the weirdest year in a lot of different areas. We could go on forever, but those types of things we're lacking clarity in this area. We're lacking clarity in this other area. Things are being announced that are clearly not finished yet. I mean,
yeah,
hopefully for those people it goes that way, because that's going to be very, very sad if it doesn't. And it's like, what are we supposed to do when we're in the middle? And if you pull the emotion out of it, like you were trying to kind of get at earlier, and you just look at the data, we're not basing decisions off actual data anymore. No, we're basing it off of emotion.
Yeah, I think that's the worst way to make decisions, by the way, is basing anything off of emotion. You just got to look at it at face value. If the numbers work, then, things can work. However, I do want to get back. I don't know why you put Judo Chop those goals, but whatever.
It just sounded so cool, dude. It just sounded cool.
We'll go along with it, because I think, going back to kind of what we were talking about, I'm a big believer. I'm pretty apolitical,
right.
And that ultimately, there's going to be outlets. I think, if anyone's ever watched this for an extended period of time, this podcast, that, I don't swing one way or the other. I'm pretty kind of down the road, because of the fact that we're going to establish our own level of pursuit, right? I went in a reflection period. So a reflection is just something I utilize every night. And one thing I just told Pat, like I've been pushing out content, but I've essentially put my journal logs, and I call it journaling out loud. And I just basically I'm journaling, and then I'm just letting people know kind of where my mindset is. Right. And there's this element of hope, right? That drives from everything we do. Like everybody has some form of hope, whether subconsciously they can live out that hope, or they have enough negative talk, and then that where like it minimizes the hope that they set for themselves. And that, with goals come hope. And when you can build that, right, when you can build that base of hey, I'm hopeful every day, like there's hope, right? Even a couple days prior, like successes run in all different sizes, both big and small. And I count my successes every single day. And I try to come back to the, kind of the core root of who I am, right? If I'm being present in that journey, then ultimately, that the hope in the destination, that necessarily is not going to be my filler. Because if we have all of our hope in the destination, there's this level of like dopamine that releases once you get to the destination. And if you don't start preparing your mind for the end destination, you're going to have such an overload of dopamine that then you're like, what's next? Right. I don't know where to go. Like what's next? Like I have to find something next. And then you'll hit this like depression. That's like, I was never present in the journey. And that's what it was all about. Like I had to be present with the journey to get to this destination. And then I have to start preparing my hope and my future ambitions beyond that destination, because then there's always going to be something else. All right. There's got to be, the hope has to be bigger than yourself. How do you judo chop those? I don't know. You make the decision. But for me, it's daily exercises of being like extremely transparent with myself. But like, I judo shop, all my small successes every day. And, a lot of times I'm a failure, and, some of the failures are going to be small, right? I forgot to make my bed. That's a failure, right? I didn't though. I made my bed this morning, make it every morning. But then there's like out of your routine, right? I didn't get to work out this morning, failure, right? But how do I get better tomorrow, right?
We're an hour early, so I'm in my workout clothes right now.
So, I mean, I just want to be like, transparent, right, kind of in my process of how I'm establishing that level of hope. And then ultimately, what does that hope bring? Gratefulness. And I just want to get back. I want to go full circle here today on Veterans Day. Dude, I wear my grandfather's World War II dog tags. As a reminder, right, of what these guys did for me, and how they protected the Constitution, protected our freedom. So it's just it's an honor to even like talk about that, to know a lot of veterans. I got my brother-in-law is a veteran, but happy Veterans Day. Thank you so much from the absolute bottom of my heart. I didn't serving is not something, actually, I tried to serve in the Air Force, but I was colorblind. So that's not a route that I took. But man, am I grateful for, my buddy Alan. He's a Marine. I think he's like about 5 or 6 years away from retiring too, but he's just an amazing guy. There's been a lot of influence. My father-in-law, I have just a ton of family that was, that has been involved in the military. And that are veterans, and some are active duty. So thank you so much. I appreciate just protecting my freedom on a daily basis, and extremely, extremely grateful. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's a beautiful thing. Well, moving onward, we are here executing weird schedules for both of us this week, but we got it in. And that's why I put Judo Chop Your Goals, just to be goofy and silly, but also at the same time, it's like we had to take action. We had to find a time slot, and we did it. Boom, we nailed it. It's just like, that's how it's got to be sometimes, folks. Even if you're Mr. Time Management, which I try to be for the most part, so that I can manage what I want to do, what I love to do, my client work, and also family time, you're going to have to create space. It's not always going to be the ideal, I'm starting at 10 and then I'm going to do this at 10:42. And it's just, there's going to be wrenches thrown in the spokes, and you got to figure out how to create space, create time, and find time to execute stuff and judo chop those goals. So it's the name of the game when it comes to this whole thing. Find time, make time, succeed, and subscribe to Matt's Instagram. It's
Follow me.
at official Matt Tack. And what I do is I upload everything to Instagram, and we also release clips a couple times a week so that you guys can get a little shorter version, some micro content that goes along with some of the points that we talk about here on the show. Hit us up anytime. Let's chat soon. And until next time, my good friend, rock and roll.
Peace. Thanks for listening.